What's up, crypto community? Your man, Mr. X to the O to the L to the U to the Sean, Mr. Solution. It's been a while. It's been a while we did this, so I thought it's twice this evening to put up this video, okay? For us to collectively look at the market to see what BTC is doing for some days now. 4 days to say, we've been seeing some crazy dumps in the market. Market has actually been experiencing quite a lot of corrections. But if you look at the chart objectively, these things are not. They didn't just happen without signs. They actually gave us the signs. Actually gave us signs. Okay, we saw some signs there that something was imminent, but probably most of us didn't take it into cognizance because the bull hype and all that. Some three cautions to the wind, and a whole lot of us are suffering it. I'm not exempted. Okay, I'm not exempted because I am also a party to the people who once suffered. Okay, because yeah, I incurred some losses, but I can boldly say I'm on the pathway to recovering everything I lost. All right, so let's actually look at this. Here I'm using 1 hour chart. This is actually 1 hour chart, 1 hour time frame. All right, so we would want to use in an indicator called a moving average. Okay, exponential moving average, and that will be 50. That's the 50-day moving average. All right, so but please, before we continue, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. And if you're in love with the content I'm putting up here, you could please share the video to people. Okay, tell people about it, because this is just the only way you can encourage me to tell me that you really appreciate the value I'm putting out here, the content I'm dishing out here for free. All right, so we look at exponential moving average. That's 50. Is already here on my screen, so I'm gonna tap on it now to show it. Okay, I'm gonna tap on it to show. Okay, so this is actually exponential moving average. Probably I should change the color. Let me change the color to something different. Okay, let me change it to I think this should be better. White. Yeah, white should be okay. All right, so this white thing, this white line, that's our 50-day exponential moving average. But before then, let's look at the general chart. Okay, how the move has been all this while. Okay, how the movement has been all this while. Okay, we got this here, and then we have this, here. Okay, this is actually called what? This is a descending triangle. Okay, it's a descending triangle that formed here, and after that we had a shoot up. Okay, the shoot up continued up onto this very moment. That what next? The next thing that happened was this correction. Okay, we witnessed this correction here. Okay, we got that correction there. Okay, so switching this to daily time frame, which is actually what I want to work with, because the chart we are looking at now is actually for a very long time. Okay, so switching to the daily time frame. Okay, so from the daily time frame we have these here. We have this. Okay, no, we have these here. Okay, we had these and these here. Okay, can remove this. All right, we have this. Let me change this to yellow. Okay, and then after that, what happened next? We saw this, breakdown that occurred here. Okay, we got this breakdown, but before then, they say success leaves clues. We saw these things because if you look at the chart of BTC all this while, if you look at the general chart so far, look at what it's been doing. Let me expand this. Look at what the general BTC chart has been doing all this while. Look at it. Okay, if you should backdate it, you will discover that this 50-day EMA has actually served as a support. Look at it here. Okay, from the time we started seeing this bull run, from the time we got in here, this 50 EMA has always served as what, as our support level. It gets there, it shoots up. Yeah, we look at it here. Look at it, it almost got there, but it didn't get here. Then it shot up. The same thing also happened there. But when I looked at this, I saw this breakdown. When I saw this breakdown, that was when I knew that business had changed. Okay, it's no more business as usual, because this candle at the end didn't actually close above this. All I wanted to be very sure that this bull market was continuing, that we are still in a huge uptrend as we've always been. All I wanted was to see this candle. Even after we got this breakdown, all I wanted was to see this candle break a closing above this 50 EMA. But since we didn't get that close above the 50 EMA, that was when I kind of started shifting my bias to becoming a bit bearish. Yeah, it's actually an uptrend. Generally, we are in an uptrend, but then I don't want to throw caution to the wind. I want to trade what is before me. Yeah, in an option, but what is the chart telling me? Okay, so I want to shift my bias to what the chart is telling me. So looking at this now, you saw that we broke, we closed below this. Okay, and one thing with wicks is that anytime you see a wick, don't always be in a haste to overlook it. When we broke down to this very, that was when we got to I think about $50,000 or so. When we got to this very level, we saw a rapid rejection. Okay, eventually the candle closed around here. Okay, it actually closed around here, not almost at the line. Okay, at the dividing line between this region and this region. Look at where the candle closed. It actually closed there, and for the candle to close there, it didn't actually give us a particular direction that the market was going to. Okay, but then the next day, what happened next? We also saw this candle now closing below. Okay, closing below that. The next day we saw this one, even though yes, it's kind of close, but it didn't close very well, and since then market has actually been going up. So what this is telling us in essence is that yeah, we are bullish, so to say. But then I wouldn't really be surprised if we see BTC around 40k, 42k. I wouldn't really be surprised to see that. Why do I say that? Let's go back again. Let's go back and identify our support and our resistance zone, because market is nothing other than regions and zones. Regions and zones are things that will help you to determine what next is going to happen. Okay, so when we got this breakdown around here, let me use this. Okay, let me get this rectangle. Okay, we got this here. This is actually a support zone. Okay, this is a support. Okay, market breaking through the support. This is the support here. Okay, we saw market actually breaking through the support. Immediately broke through the support. There was actually a rejection. Okay, kind of shot back up immediately. Okay, this weeks means rejection. Okay, it was actually sellers pushed market to this very level. But what happened next is that there was actually a rejection. It was actually rejected, and then it shot back up again. But then, like I said, wicks, you don't ignore wicks. Anytime you see a wick, don't always be in a haste to overlook it. Yeah, you could be taking a little bit of scalps, but keep your eyes on the wicks, because most of the time, 80% of the time, if I'm not mistaken, because I've always been observing this wicks thing. Okay, 80% of the time, market has always come back to retest that wick. 80% of the time. Okay, market has always come back to retest that week. And what happened next? You see, market still came back and then retested it. But then I was thinking that if market should retest this week, that it crashed, it fell to before, I was expecting another move upwards. But on the flip side, what I expected is not what is obtainable right now, because we are actually seeing that the price is still dumping. Actually, the price is still going down. Okay, even lower than the week we dropped from. So what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario right now is that there is a probability that we could, crash to this zone. There is a huge chance. There's a huge probability that we could crash towards this zone. That's 40, 42k, 40k. These two things are not, this zone, they are not really totally out of the equation. Why? Because we already seen this now, that this support, okay, is actually being defeated, is almost serving as a resistance, because look at it, 53k is now a very huge resistance for Bitcoin to break through. So until it breaks, it goes above this 53k resistance, the next support of it is this 42k 42k, between 42k to 40k region. This is the next support that BTC is actually gonna get to if eventually it descends. And then from all intents and measures, please remember that this analysis, I am not doing it for any maybe to to make you feel good, because market is not something that makes you feel good. Market doesn't care about your emotions, it doesn't care about how you feel, it doesn't care about how much money you put in there. Market does its thing. It's not like your mother that looks at your face whenever you're crying and probably puts breast milk in your mouth. Market doesn't do that, okay? It does what it wants to do. So I want to be very, I want to be as brutal as I can, okay, whenever I'm doing this analysis, okay? Because whenever market wants to take my money from me, it doesn't look at my face, it doesn't pity me, okay? So that being the case, I want you to take this thing, whenever you're looking at this chart, be very brutal. Don't throw cautions to the wind. Don't build castles in thin air. Don't depend on hope. Hope is not a business strategy. Trade what the chart is telling you. And from what we are seeing here, that for this price now, for price to close below, to consistently stay below this area of support that it actually broke through, because right now their support is actually serving as a resistance. So the next place market is descending to is this 42k 40 region. I am not totally taking it out of the equation. As a matter of fact, immediately we closed below this 50 EMA, all my trades so far have been scalping. I've not been taking any long trade. The only long trades I have are my spot positions, the coins I'm holding on support. For my futures trade, I am 100% scalping. I'm not holding anything, because it's so obvious that this thing now is gonna come to this 42k 40 region, okay? So these two things are not, this region is not totally out of the equation. And if that is the case, you need to be very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful, particularly before taking any long entry. I'm not saying that the bull run is over. I'm not saying that everybody should go home and that everything has ended. No, anything can happen. A fundamental news could come out now that will shoot the market. We could hear that maybe Walmart or whatever company has pumped in whatever billions of dollars into the market. And what happens when we get this kind of fundamental news? The next thing that happens is that market usually shoots up. But until then, I want to be very brutal. I want to trade what the market is telling me. The only place I am actually looking at now to be very sure that this 42k 40 region must be tested is something around here. Okay, if price eventually crashes to maybe any day I see price this falling to horizontal line, okay, anytime I see price coming to this region, coming to this price now, anytime I see this descending to as low as 46k, so far the lowest we've gone is around what price is around okay, let me remove this. So far the lowest we've descended is 47,445 dollars. That's 47k. If any day I wake up to see that this BTC has dropped to 46k, brethren, I am shorting this to 42k. Okay, probably put my stop loss around, maybe I could short from here and then probably put my stop loss around 53k or thereabouts, but I'm shorting this to 40 something. I'm shorting this to 42k and then put my stop loss something around 52 or 53k, as the case may be, okay, depending on what is obtainable right now, okay, as at then. All right, so this is just what I want us to see. I just want us to be realistic. Yeah, everybody is saying bull run is not over. Yeah, I'm not even saying it's over, but I just want us to be brutal, because market is a very brutal enterprise. Is a brutal endeavor, and you need to be very brutal while looking at it. Okay, so guys, so this is just a little thing I want us to look at, just for us to understand that 42k 40k region is not totally out of the equation, and for us to have closed below this 50 EMA that has always served as a support. All this, look at it now, backdate this chart, all this, you see what happened from here. Okay, from here it served as a support, and what happened, it served as a support, it broke through, it broke below it. Okay, price went below it and then came back again. It served as a resistance, and then you can check from the time it broke below it up onto this very time that it eventually goes below. It went below above it. Okay, you see the time interval. Okay, you see that that's a very long time. Remember that what we are using here is a daily time frame. Okay, and then that thing that happened there is actually what we are witnessing here. Again, price closing below it consistently, not like it kind of closed. Okay, it kind of closed below and then tested it again. It has not tested it. The only time it tried testing it was this green candle. That was when it went to as high as 57k, and from then so far it's been on steady decline. It's been on a steady decline. So I just want us to be very truthful to ourselves, be very honest while doing this, and remember that, like I said, 42k 40k region is not totally out of the equation. I'm not bearish, but I want to trade what the chart is telling me. All right, so guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope the video has been educating. I hope it's been insightful. I hope it's been eye-opening. All right, till I come your way again, I remain your man, Mr. Solution.